You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Boy, oh boy, welcome to Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. Welcome into the show. The 76ers lose 105-103 to the Brooklyn Nets on a buzzer beater by Claxton after Maxey had hit a game-tying three in the corner. And really, after the 76ers played by far their best basketball of the night throughout the fourth quarter. And in that fourth quarter, Joel Embiid did not play. He had played in the previous three quarters, did not play in the fourth quarter. And the Sixers, again, to reiterate, by far played their best basketball. And I'm going to be flat out honest with you. Midway through, I would say, the third quarter, I had even tweeted out, I put out there on social media that the Sixers just need to shut it down. At that point in the game, they were down 14. The largest deficit they were in was, I believe, was 17 tonight to the Brooklyn Nets. And I said, at this point, you're down 14 points in the third quarter. Just shut it down. It's over. The Brooklyn Nets were looking a hell of a lot like the Boston Celtics. All right. The Sixers were trailing the Celtics by 29 points. They ended up losing by 20. They looked terrible against the Boston Celtics throughout that night. The Brooklyn Nets were looking a lot like the Boston Celtics. In case you haven't been following the NBA for a while, the Brooklyn Nets haven't won a championship anytime soon, anytime recently. All right. The Celtics, oh, they have. But tonight was another effort of an opposing team coming into South Philadelphia, where, again, you had Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey playing in the game, and you look like you were about to get blown out. So, to the Sixers' credit, I'll say this is the only optimistic thing I'll really say about the Sixers tonight. After I actually posted that, and it's not one of those things where I'm like, oh, I tweeted that, and then all of a sudden they should thank me for the good luck charm. Not at all. The Sixers, after that point, about the 5-minute mark of the third quarter, started to do this crazy thing where they started to play basketball. It was amazing. I didn't even know they had it in them, but they started to play basketball. Now, Joel Embiid was still in the game at this point, but Paul George looks like he showed some determination in the later stages there in the third quarter. Tyrese Maxey looks like he showed some determination there in the later stages of the fourth quarter, and he came out of the gate swinging. Oh, he was great in the first quarter. Sixers weren't so great in the first quarter, but we'll get to that. Guerschon Yabusele comes in here, and he starts banging some boards, getting some offensive rebounds, some second chance points there in the later stages of the fourth quarter. It's going to be third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, you again, by far, play your best. But here's the sad part. You still only won the quarter. You lost the game. You still only won the quarter by 5 points. So I'm not going to do handstands over the idea that Joel Embiid was sitting on the bench and the Sixers looked their best, because their best in the game was still only 5 points better than the Brooklyn Nets. In the third quarter, you won that one by 4 points. 24-20, and that had let's say a healthy amount of Joel Embiid in that third quarter. But obviously, Joel Embiid gets pushed aside there, rides the pine in favor of Guerschon Yabusele there, Kelly Oubre, Paul George. You also had Quentin Grimes and Tyrese Maxey to round things out there for you in the fourth quarter. And those guys, those five guys, they actually put forth effort. They showed some enthusiasm. They showed some determination, like they weren't going to let this Brooklyn Nets team beat them. But unfortunately, the Brooklyn Nets beat them. And that's really what the focus is. It does, like, to me, I'm shutting down Joel Embiid. You can't continue to roll this guy out there. Are you serious? And in the second quarter, I believe it was, he took quite a spill. Third quarter, 4:08 remaining. Joel Embiid went down, slipping on Daron Sharp's foot. And he goes down like a sack of potatoes. And you mean to tell me this guy's going to keep playing? No. And I wouldn't be shocked if Nick Nurse, and I'll look for it after the game, I'll see if Nick Nurse comes out and says anything about Joel Embiid. I'm getting this this is from Elliot Shore Parks of WIP, putting out there. He said he didn't put Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter because he liked the way the team was playing. Wow. So Nick Nurse is saying publicly, wow, after the game, that So Nick Nurse could have, wow, that's amazing. I'll read this tweet verbatim. Nick Nurse saying he didn't put Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter because he liked the way the team was playing is pretty shocking. And I agree. This is now the rest is opinion from Elliot. But just saying that, basically what I was looking for, what I thought I would see is comments after the game from Nick Nurse, the head coach of the Sixers, obviously saying he's not playing Embiid. Oh, he slipped. About 4 minutes left in that third quarter, he slipped out as a precaution. We thought we'd hold him out in the fourth quarter. No, but to come out and say, I liked how my team was playing, sans an MVP, sans Joel Embiid. Our team was playing so well, beating the Brooklyn Nets by 5 points. They didn't need Joel Embiid. Now, you know that. I know that. But for the head coach of the basketball team to say that is pretty interesting. It's quite indicting. So what you can't, when you go out against the Bulls in this next game, there is no way Joel Embiid should be playing in that game. You literally have him coming out after the Celtics loss saying, oh my God, I'm still banged up. He's saying earlier in the year he's probably going to need another surgery. He's not 100%. He can't be his dominant self. Thinks he can still be a force, but he can't be his normal dominant self. Well, how about you just put it on ice there, bub, for the season? Address the issue now so that you're as good as you possibly can be for next year. And I've been someone to maintain faith that the Sixers can still very well make the play-in tournament. Tonight, that takes a bit of a hit with the Bulls losing. You face the Bulls again coming up here in your next game, and you lose to the Brooklyn Nets. And even with Joel Embiid in the lineup, you find yourself down 17 points? Seriously? Shut it down now, please. By the way, this is Locked On 76ers Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. And this particular episode is brought to you by the amazing people at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with your first $5 bet hitting, and that's on FanDuel. And also, your favorite podcast now is a newsletter introducing Locked On 76ers Daily Newsletter. One stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new free Locked On 76ers Postcast. Locked On 76ers Newsletter. I'm going to be commenting, or I'm going to be looking at the comments here for you guys. Want to see what you guys have to say about that news with Nick Nurse is flat out saying, like the way the team was playing without Joel Embiid. So the rest is history. Now, let's take a quick gander. In case you haven't figured it out, three big things. The biggest thing is Joel Embiid not playing in that fourth quarter. So in case you haven't seen it, Joel Embiid tonight throughout the game was a -7. A -7. The only other person that was -7 tonight was Lonnie Walker, and he played 10 minutes in his 76ers debut, the Reading, Pennsylvania native. Joel Embiid -7. Lonnie Walker -7. Then you had Tyrese Maxey at a -1. Paul George +3, the only starter to finish in positive numbers, while Kelly Oubre was even on the evening. Still, absolutely embarrassing. Joel Embiid doesn't play in the fourth quarter. All right, that's number one. Number two, how is it, Sixers, that you can possibly be trailing the Brooklyn Nets by 17 points? If you're the Sixers, how do you have any excuse to have Joel Embiid suited up in this next game against the Bulls? It is, without question, a shutdown moment. I'm watching Joel Embiid today hoist threes. I'm watching Joel Embiid be terrified of the blocks. I'm watching Joel Embiid. Here's what really bothered me. Joel Embiid in the first quarter of this game had a situation where Tyrese Maxey, off getting a defensive rebound, turns, and Tyrese Maxey is booking it down the court. And the Sixers have an opportunity here to hit Tyrese Maxey in stride while he is busting it down the court for a layup, maybe an N1 situation. And Joel Embiid is in the middle of the floor leading the break himself, as opposed to dumping that ball off on the wing to Tyrese Maxey to get maybe even a corner three. Maybe he goes for a layup. Maybe he gets the N1, whatever. Bottom line is Joel Embiid should not be leading the break. And he had Kelly Oubre next to him, Tyrese Maxey up on the sideline around half court when Joel Embiid was about at the foul line after the defensive rebound. And instead of giving it up to Maxey to run out with it, he kept it, ended up getting a blocking foul. But if you're playing, I understand the notion of wanting to go all out, but you can't play all out if you already told us you can't go all out. That means you're on borrowed time. And one little nick, one little scratch, whatever, is going to send you back to, I don't know, your Kansas level of play, which is still pretty good, but it wasn't an MVP level. That's for damn sure. So why am I watching that happen in a game like this where you could spare yourself that kind of effort, spare yourself, that kind of output? I've said it many times. This goes back weeks now. Joel Embiid, when he hits that moment of he's tired or he feels like he needs to start forcing things or whatever, just become a facilitator. Trust your teammates. Be the guy that sets them up as opposed to the guy that's trying to score. Because I'd much rather see Tyrese Maxey try to take over a game at this point than Joel Embiid. I'd much rather see Paul George go out there and try to lead the offense more so than Joel Embiid. I want to see Joel Embiid, if the Sixers aren't going to shut him down, which again, I find, what are you doing to this guy? And I in no way mean to make Joel Embiid feel like the victim here, because here's a guy that I defended him last year. I praised him for his efforts in the postseason last year, trying to fight through that injury. But to go into the offseason, to go to the Olympics, and then come out here not ready to play, are you kidding me? And then to still be dealing with this now, please shut him down. Just call it quits for the year for Joel Embiid and just push to next year. Let Tyrese Maxey take more steps forward. Let Paul George and Tyrese Maxey figure out how they're going to play with one another and then figure out the rest next year. But right now with Joel Embiid, it's just got to be done. It's got to be over. But with all that, as a team, you are so dysfunctional. And I mean this strictly on the court. I'm not talking about any drama off the court. But on the court, you look so unbelievably dysfunctional. That's when you're down 29 points to the Celtics. I get it. They're a great team. The Sixers are not a great team. To be down 17 points to the Nets, a team which, by the way, you're battling for, if you want to call it that, for a right to play in the play-in tournament, and you come out in front of your hometown crowd like that, where you're down 40-30, you allowed as a defense with Joel Embiid playing 40 points in the first quarter tonight. Like, that kind of set the tone. If there was ever a moment where I thought the Sixers were going to play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, it was going to be the first quarter. We just got blown out by the Celtics. We're not going to let a team like the Nets destroy us. And then 40-30. Now, the 30 is good. The 40 is horrible. And then you compound it by Joel Embiid not playing at all in the fourth quarter, and your team looked like they were at their best. And on to that number 3. So Joel Embiid sitting in the fourth quarter is number 1. Sixers getting handled in the early goings of this game as much as they did by the Nets, similar to the way they did against the Celtics, is just inexcusable. That's number 2. And number 3 for me. Quentin Grimes, way to step up in that fourth quarter. Tyrese Maxey, way to do your thing in that fourth quarter. Paul George, way to do your thing in that fourth quarter. George only finished with 15 points, I believe it was, on the night, but he had a nice little run there for himself late in the fourth quarter. Can I get a box out? Can I get a box out? Is that too much to ask? It's a little box out. Please and thank you. Nick Claxton was Johnny on the spot. 0.2 of a second left. He gets the putback, and that was the 104th and 105th points for the Brooklyn Nets, breaking that 103 tie. 0.2 of a second. He lets that ball roll off his fingers towards the net. It goes in, and that was that. They don't call timeout. They don't draw up anything fancy. They try to catch the Sixers in transition, and that's exactly what they do. This is Locked On 76ers postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. When we come back, more on Quentin Grimes and what he was able to provide for the Sixers tonight, especially when they needed. I'll tell you one thing about him tonight that I did not have it on my bingo. I did not have it on my bingo card for Quentin Grimes tonight. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On 76ers postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You guys use DoorDash? You like DoorDash? I love DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. How about that? Thanks to Dash Pass. Every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more points in a game during the 2024-2025 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order up to $10 off. How about that? The next day from noon to midnight. Game day feast. After an epic 50-point performance, celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers from your favorite spot delivered straight to your door. Late night cravings? Whether you're staying up late, watching the highlights, and just need a midnight snack, use DoorPass to grab something delicious while saving big. Lunchtime on the go? Need a quick and easy lunch the next day with Dash Pass? Oh, my goodness gracious. You get your favorite meals with $0 delivery fees and reduced service fees. Plus, now you can save even more with this exclusive NBA offer, fueling your watch party, planning to catch the next game. Order your go-to snacks and meals at a discount and get ready for more high-scoring action. Sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save when any player scores 50 or more points in a game. Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. I did not have this on my bingo card tonight. Quentin Grimes, 16 points, fine. A good game for him, obviously. But Quentin Grimes, 6 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. A clutch three that put the Sixers up late in that fourth quarter. But 16 points was the second leading scorer on the 76ers tonight. Tyrese Maxey led the way with 31 points on 10 of 23 shooting, 5 of 11 from beyond the arc, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. But number 2 on the Sixers tonight was your other starting guard, and that was Quentin Grimes, who came up with 16 points for the Sixers. Showed all the hustle in the world as well. 5 assists, which was tied for the team lead, along with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who also had 5 for the Sixers today, but also got you 2 steals. The only players to get you more steals was Guerschon Yabusele, who in his limited time, just 23 minutes tonight, got you 3 steals. Paul George also got you 3 steals. Quentin Grimes came up with 2 steals tonight for the 10-9-8 76ers. 37 minutes played for Quentin Grimes. I know he's new to the Sixers, but this guy is certainly earning some starter minutes to help out this squad as much as he possibly can. And they need all the help they can possibly get. I know when it comes to the bench scoring tonight, that was abysmal. 12 points off the bench for the Sixers. 13 points off the bench for the Sixers in total. That's terrible. But eventually, Quentin Grimes might find himself back on the bench. That's a huge upgrade to the bench. When you talk about a guard like him being able to knock down threes and also being able to get to the basket. He was able to do both those things to help the cause for the Sixers tonight. But I was very impressed with his effort. For all the things that you're watching, when you talk about Joel Embiid struggling, or you talk about Tyrese Maxey maybe has an off night, or Paul George finding his way, whatever the case might be. You're also looking at some of these other guys that might be role players down the line. And Quentin Grimes could certainly be one of those guys. But all in all, what we're watching right now with the Sixers, I would love for this news to come out tomorrow. And the news is, as the Sixers try to push through this horrendous season that started with really, I think we knew about Paul George's hyperextended knee in the preseason. I think we knew about that and what that would mean for the season before we knew Joel Embiid was having significant struggles with his knee. So we got that news first about Paul George. Then we find out, despite playing in the Olympics after suffering another meniscus tear and trying to battle through that right before the playoffs last year and in the playoffs last year, Joel Embiid goes and plays in the Olympics, comes back, and he's not ready to play in the NBA season. Okay. And then we get Tyrese Maxey with a 2-week hamstring injury before he comes back. the best news of the trade deadline was that Guerschon Yabusele wasn't traded. Right after that, it's that Quentin Grimes was acquired. So there's that. But when you watch and you try to look at this from a bird's eye view, what the 76ers team is, they're a team that you need to look at right now as a team without Joel Embiid. And I don't mean that they're going to trade him in the offseason, because I still agree with what a lot of the national pundits say, and he's untradeable. You're talking about 5 years of a deal with a guy that looks like he's broken down. It ain't happening. And as I've also told you many times over, the only thing the Sixers are going to do right now is they're going to live and die by Joel Embiid. So with that being said, I found myself, now stay with me here, because this is how my crazy brain works. I remember yelling last year with you guys when we were doing Phillies postcasts about why won't they just shut down Taijuan Walker? What are we doing here? Just let him reset. If he's going to go to your bullpen, that's a very expensive bullpen piece. Just shut him down. If you're not going to trade him, if you're not going to cut him, if you're not going to release him, just shut him down. Let him start that rehab process as early as possible. Let him hit that reset button as early as possible. And they didn't do it. Why are the Sixers doing the same exact thing, but only with an MVP caliber player? You can't have your head coach come out after the game and say that Joel Embiid, it was a coach's decision to not play him. You can't come out as a head coach and say, oh, he would have gotten in the way, essentially. Because that's what you're saying. I liked what the team was doing without him, so I didn't want him to go in there. That only means one thing. He would have disrupted how well the team was playing. He would have made the team worse, is what you're saying. That's all that can mean. That's all that can mean. So you can't do that as a head coach and then as a team have him out there again in the next game. Look, even if you don't want to shut him down for the season, you got to give him time off. And look, it's not going to get better. I know it's not going to get better. But if Daryl Morey is calling me, if I'm standing next to Daryl Morey and he taps me on the shoulder and says, what should I do here? You shut him down. I mean, for crying out loud, you got Sixers fans going to games against the Celtics, for instance, where they're hearing, let's go Celtics as fans exit the building. You got Eagles chants going on there. And if you love doing Eagles chants, more power to it. But when you're at the game and you're a player or you're a coach or you're the front office, do you really want them shouting out another? No, you want to be the entertainment that night. Hey, we're playing so well, you don't even have to chant the Eagles. You know what I mean? You don't even have to do the spelling bee. You don't got to do it. You're being entertained by what we're giving you. And you certainly can't have boos raining down upon your team as you walk off during a third quarter break. You can't have it happen. And yet it's all happening. And then you expect Sixers fans, just getting this from Keith Pompey, Inquirer.com, and Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On 76ers Daily Podcast with Kayla Santiago as well. Joel Embiid declined to speak to the media following the game. I think this is the end for the season, at least, for Joel Embiid. If you're Joel Embiid and you're telling people that you can't play at 100%, why are you playing? Your injury's not going to get better with play. Are the Sixers? Look, I don't. Are the Sixers terrified that he'll eat his way out of shape if he's not playing? Is that the only thing keeping him engaged? Staying in shape's been an issue for him, as we all know. And when your lower body's banged up, it doesn't make conditioning all that much easier. You know what I mean? It actually makes it next to impossible. Why continue to throw him out there? This is malpractice at this point. When we come back, we'll expound a little bit more on Keith Pompey's tweet there regarding Joel Embiid and the status of the Sixers center. This is the Locked On 76ers postcast and Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Back after this. How about FanDuel? Hopefully you guys are taking advantage of all FanDuel has to offer. Love making my bets with FanDuel. They do such a great job, and their site's so easy, and their app is so easy to navigate. When the game tips off in the NBA, action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss an opening tip-off, or you want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, maybe, like the Sixers almost had tonight, you can stay in on the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. Whether I'm backing my team or maybe a late-game rally, whatever, or late-night rally, whatever it might be, picking a player to hit a clutch three, never feel like I miss a chance to make some money with FanDuel. Plus, the app is easy to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers get $150 on bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started today. That's FanDuel.com. Your one shot at $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet hits. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Also in this segment, I failed to tease this earlier. I'll take your comments in this section as well. So you got. Let me see if I can find for you guys the full quote from Nick Nurse. Let me see if I can. He's giving us what he can. He's not himself. We all know that. He's not certainly the guy that we're used to seeing play at a super high level. But I commend him for giving us what he could. Basically saying he's giving us what he can. Okay. Seeing if there's anything else. Nothing else. Let me check our friend Keith Pompey and just see if there's anything else there. Joel Embiid declined to talk to the media. I mentioned that. Yeah, nothing. That's no bueno. Let's get your comments up here. Brandon, what's going on? Brandon Kelly, go Phillies. Jason Alexander III. Hey, what's up, Jason? Or James, excuse me, James Alexander. Jason Alexander, that's funny. They failed to box out. That they did. Oh, Barbara Carroll, what's up, Babs? Long time no see. Spring training has started. No more Sixers. Right around the corner. Ari Stein, what's up, bud? A week without Farzi is no kind of week at all. Go Birds. Appreciate that, brother. My show will be back up and running on Monday. BC, what's going on? At least baseball is back. There we go. All right. We are so we're so hurt by the Sixers. We're just looking forward to the other. That's the best part about a four-sports town. And others. Union, Philadelphia Wings lost, unfortunately. I thought the Union lost too. I'm not sure. I didn't check. I saw people tweeting about them losing. Anyway, yeah, it's that's the good thing. This team's pissing me off. I'm gonna go watch that one. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, that team's losing? I'm pissed off even more now. Eagles won the Super Bowl, though. Up next for your 10-9-8 76ers, they take on the Bulls. That game will be, I believe that's Tuesday night. That's Monday night. 7 o'clock against the Bulls. Once again, who, by the way, lost tonight. So the Nets, they take full advantage. They're just a half game behind the Bulls. The Sixers are now a game and a half behind the Bulls. Two and a half games, behind the Bulls. So that's how that works. Not cool at all. Sorry, game and a half. Game and a half behind the Bulls for the 10th and final play-in tournament spot. I do appreciate you guys watching, especially after a infuriating, then heartbreaking loss there by the 76ers against the Brooklyn Nets. 105-103, Sixers lose their 7th straight game. How about that? Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with you guys Monday night following the Sixers, hopefully taking it to the Bulls. Shut Embiid down. See you guys next time. Bye.